Obamacare this morning. President Trump is saying that he is willing to wait until after the presidential election to vote on a replacement for Obamacare. In a series of very late-night tweets last night, the president wrote this: "Everybody agrees that Obamacare doesn't work. Premiums and deductibles are far too high, really bad health care. Even the Dems want to replace it, but with Medicare for All, which would cause 180 million Americans to lose their beloved private health insurance. The Republicans are developing a really great health care plan with far lower premiums, lower cost, and deductibles than Obamacare. In other words, it will be far less expensive and much more usable than Obamacare. Vote will be taken right after the election when Republicans hold the Senate and win back the House. It will be, he says they're going to win back the House. It will be truly great health care that will work for America. Also, Republicans will always support pre-existing conditions. The Republican Party will be known as the party of great health care." Meanwhile, the USA doing better than ever, and it is respected again, writes the president. Joining us right now is Tennessee Congressman, Homeland Security Committee member, emergency room physician himself, and former Army medic, health care company owner Mark Green. Congressman, it's good to have you on the program this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And let me kick it off where the president just left off, because you are a medical doctor and you have a real sense of the issues and how expensive Obamacare was. But, you know, you guys can't just come out and say, oh, the Republicans will be the party of health care when you actually don't have a plan that anybody understands, can you?
Yeah, I think we can, because we have the general principle of what is going to fix health care in America, and we've got to get market solutions back into the equation. If patients don't shop for price, we'll never fix the problem in healthcare. And you can put all portability and all those things, they're just Band-Aids. I mean, they need to happen, but the real issue is a free market solution. And I'm in these conferences, in these meetings. The House RSC committee has a healthcare group, and we're putting it together. So I think we're going to have a great plan, and I agree with the president. So.
Congressman, good morning, Mitch Rochelle. Do you think the Democrats want to sort of push this off until after the election as well? Because there's so many candidates that are sort of lining up and making health care a primary issue. And in fact, Speaker Pelosi pivoted after the Mueller report to bring up health care. But is this something that this Congress is going to be able to tackle, or do we have to wait until after the election?
You know, the real question is Speaker Pelosi serious? You know, we see a lot of posturing. They're prepping for the 2020 election cycle. Whether it's investigating the president more and more, or if, you know, looking at like House Resolution 1, their most important issue this session. It's all about setting the election cycle so that 2020 can be theirs. So yeah, that's the real question. We can get some common ground on a lot of these issues. Obviously, pre-existing conditions. You guys mentioned that. That's common ground. So if we and they are willing to fix what we can fix, then let's get it done.
Yeah, I'm really glad you mentioned the H.R. 1, because, you know, when they came into power in the majority, when you're in the majority, you have to decide what is your number one issue. Yeah. So when the Republicans took the majority last year, a couple of years ago, their main issue was tax reform, and that was their H.R. 1. The Democrats' H.R. 1 was election. So they want to make voting age at 16. There's this, you know, ballot harvesting issue where in California you lost, 4 or 5 congressmen during the midterms. They went to sleep at night thinking that they won, and then they found out 3 weeks later that they lost. This harvesting, I think, is a real issue. But don't you think that's odd? Or not odd, but I mean, it's just so telling. The Democrats get to power, the first thing they do is, we want to change elections?
Well, but the Republicans fouled up, though, too, because they pursued repeal and replace before they did tax reform. So they could have gotten that done earlier, and then the Republicans just botched the hell out of the health care reform, quite frankly. And you can blame whomever you like, but frankly, it falls on the shoulders of all Republicans. And Congressman, I don't know how you explain away a political strategy coming out of the White House where the Trump administration's Justice Department completely reverses itself to support a total repeal of the Affordable Care Act as they got behind this decision from a federal judge in Texas. So you support getting rid of it, but then you don't have a replacement and say, oh, we'll deal with that after 2020. Politically, it makes zero sense.
Yeah, I don't think at all that the president's saying we're waiting until 2020. I think he, you know, like a business guy, he sees the number one problem is fixing health care. And the failure that happened last Congress is behind us. It's time to get the solution before the Congress, get it voted on, and get the law signed. I mean, we have to tackle this issue. Yeah. And we can't run from it just because it's a political hot potato. You know, leaders don't do that. And I think Donald Trump is a leader, so he's taken this on regardless of what some political people are telling him.
I still think it's amazing that their number one issue when they got to the majority was the election. And they're coming up with all of these prospects to change the electoral college. I mean, it's incredible. Congressman, we got to get
a different country.
Yeah, we got to get your take on the border battle. The Department of Homeland Security forcing more Central Americans seeking asylum to remain in Mexico while they are processed. The Homeland Security Secretary, Kirstjen Nielsen, ordered an increased Customs and Border Patrol presence to the southern border. And this comes as the president is set to tour part of a newly constructed border fence this Friday. Jared Kushner weighed in on the immigration debate last night when he joined Fox News' Laura Ingraham. Here's what he said. Got to get your reaction.
Okay.
I'm hopeful that the Democrats and the Republicans in Congress will work to do the right thing and figure out how we can secure our country, secure our border, and make sure that we're protecting American citizens, which really is the charge that the president was given. But I do think with Mexico, it's something we've been working on for the last 2 years. I think we've made a lot of progress with our relationship with Mexico, with the big trade deal that we're able to get done. I think this immigration issue is very much tied to the trade, and it's something that we need to figure out. How do we improve the full relationship between U.S. and Mexico? We're not moving Mexico. We're not moving America. So I think it's within both of our national interests to work this out.
Congressman, where is this going? I mean, anybody who goes to the southern border will attest there is a crisis going on. 100,000 people being detained every month, and now we're basically saying, all right, we're busting out of all of these detention centers, so just stay in Mexico. And then you got a court date. They never even show up for the court date.
Yeah, it's a crisis, and the current system of catch and release is not good for the country. And the problem is, of course, the incentives. In immigration law, they've passed lots of things. They've never, like border walls. They've passed it many times. It never gets built. It's time to basically draw a line in the sand. And this president, when he draws a line in the sand, he means it. Ask North Korea, ask China, and he's, of course, talking about closing the border. I understand the business ramifications of that, but this is a guy who's serious, and I think they're going to need to get it done. So.
Well, it's going to impact a lot of imports. There was a story yesterday that there will be no way to get any avocados if they.
Yeah, we all like avocados.
Okay, now that's a problem.
This is exactly.
We don't care about cars. We care about avocados.
Yeah. So obviously shutting down the border completely. I mean, is there an expectation of how long that would be in place?
There's no way to really guess. I know that when this president has shown that he will stand by what he says, he gets results. I mean, look at tax reform. You guys mentioned earnings are down in the first quarter. There was all this talk about, it's going to put money in the corporations' pockets. Yeah. Earnings are down. Wages are actually up, and in the lowest quartile, up 6%. So this president's serious. He's a leader, and he's making things happen. So I'm confident it's going to be okay.
We will watch the developments, Congressman. It's good to have you on the program. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria.
Congressman Mark Green joining us there.